Alright, so once again, I introduce myself. I'm Shannon. I'm an MSP Associate Consultant in System RKK. So just bear with me a quick briefing about our company background. So in short, SRKK is founded in 1997 and we have been in business for 24 years, providing IT-related solutions to corporate and enterprise. So these are the three pillars aligned with our mission and core values. And this is our recent feedbacks of our customer. So for today, good news, for those that registered early and stay tuned with us until end of this webinar, you have a complimentary monitoring service for 3 months and also stand a chance for a limited executive 30% discount on our monitoring service. So let's get into our main topic today, monitoring your key to security. So there are a lot of product segments that you are familiar or having or doing all these above are crucial for every level of security. So as you can see here, antivirus, firewall, backup, these are the basic security one organization will need. Then for some advanced features, so you may consider ATP or SharePoint, which can secure your files in cloud. So in today's later part, my colleague will share a bit about this SharePoint. But for my point today is the solutions, not the product. So today, you may have the best product, but what about it in 6 months or 1 year? You may not have the latest features or updates anymore. Because all we know that security enhancement and fine-tuning is an ongoing process that need to keep it updates from time to time. But what is the solution for most PC that every day have built in, which is patches and updates? But how can you maintain everything is up to date? Basically is by monitoring. So today there is one solution we know as virtual IT department, which is VTD. All right. So in future part, I will explain much into VTD. But before that, I would like to share about a statistic that captured last year. Basically, it's a botnet attacks happens in the year of 2020. So basically, for those that doesn't know what is botnet basically is a number of internet connected devices, each of which is running one or more bots. So basically, it's used for the DDoS attacks, to steal data, to send spam, allow attacker to access the device and its connections. So if you notice that recently there's a lot of spam and phishing emails in the environment within this 2020 and 2021. So especially during the first MCO, Malaysia showed the cybersecurity case has spiked 82.5% compared to last year. Then according to the analysis, the cybersecurity case will only continue to increase. So basically, you will be wondering what is this has to do with you all. Let me show you a number, 2.71 million. So are your company willing to pay for these losses because they are the victim of this cybercrime? But the answer is you cannot choose not to be. But there are always protective and preventive methods like antivirus, awareness, and so on. But our main concern here will be monitoring, because I believe you have all the best product, but you are not able to manage it and monitor it. So come back to VTD. You will be thinking, what is VTD? Why VTD and how VTD can be beneficial to a business? Let me answer your question one by one. So VTD basically is a remote monitoring and managed service combined with a fully certified IT engineer. And why do you need VTD? In later slide, I will basically explain more details in the capability of the VTD, so you have a better picture of it. But what you need to understand is basically increase the efficiency, because it provides a 24/7 by 365-day managing and monitoring for your servers, endpoint, and also devices, which network devices which include. So how do we benefit to a business? Basically, it's pretty straightforward formula, because you have no longer having obstacles, meaning you reduce the downtime, increase the uptime, increase the profitability, meaning increase in the revenue. Because everything can be done remotely by VTD, manage it, and also monitoring. So let's go into the point of today. What is the capability of this VTD? So in here we describe about VTD is a non-human touch automations and managed using a single panel of glass. So basically it's centralized to one. So the first capability of VTD is discover. So I believe everyone that is faced some difficulty in discovering our devices in our environment. What is the status of our PCs? What PCs we have in our environment? Which one is out of date? Which one is up to date? All these things can be done using VTD. And from there, we are able to monitor the security level. Then inventory and audit. I believe a lot of company here today spends a lot of money in auditing, to get to know the status details of the PC. What is the OS level? What is the software, current software updates and stuff? And is it all the antivirus is up to date? All these have to be separately done in previous versions. So what VTD can be doing is everything is included. You can do it every day, every week, every month, depends on what kind of requirement you require. Then next, remote desktop. This one is the new norm of MCO troubleshooting lately. So when the user have having a problem, so you require a third-party tools to remote into their PC to help them to troubleshoot. And VTD able to do that as well. And in the much secure term, because using 2MFA methods and encryption, of course. But there is one more features which is special, which we call Live Connect, which is a stealth mode. So for those higher management, they weren't able to provide you the PC, not doing productivity work. So what Live Connect able to do is they're able to remote in the back end, do it back end so they can continue with their work. At the same time, you're able to troubleshoot the issue. Then next, of course, agent scripting. You're able to do agent scripting, deploy code or any instructions, executions to all PCs or to all managed device. Then, of course, software packaging. So if you want to deploy some software through VTD, you are able to do that. You're able to push the software to run it automatically. Then VTD is agent-based monitoring. So we're able to track the clients, to know their status, to do the perform the executions. And of course, one of the most important, the patch deployment and management. Microsoft basically have done a lot of Windows updates, patches updates. This is to overcome the vulnerabilities existing in their OS. Then, of course, network monitoring. This is one of the most important because you are able to track what is the bandwidth, what is the throughput of a network device, including your firewalls, the servers, how they react to the current bandwidth that you are using. So, in short, I would like to sum up into 4 benefits of SIKK VTD. Basically, it's efficiency, IT security, visibility and control, and cost saving. So for efficiency, basically you will be focusing on centralization, the ease of remoting, but it won't replace the current IT department. Why do I say so? Because current IT department will only focusing on planning, on what you're going to do next for better productivity or IT development. But for the education part, you can leave it to VTD to do so. Then, at the same time, you can able to enhance security because everything you are able to do it manually, make sure everything is up to date. And of course, you're using 2FA authentication, which is now recently Microsoft also pushed it to enforce to all Microsoft 365 user. Then next, visibility and control. Because you are able to see the environment of the IT environment and infrastructure, you're able to see what is happening. Is it something going anomaly? It is something that is not supposed to happen. This you can able to see it and control it via the VTD. And lastly, of course, is cost saving, because everything is in one single panel of glass. So you are not required to hire any extra IT practitioner for these IT solutions. So basically, you can include it in the VTD for your support. Then, as previously I did mention, the manageable network devices. So what I include in this? So as you know, here is the server endpoint hardware, the software status, then the server online status, network devices, which include your firewall, your managed switch, antivirus update status, this liaise with your third-party antivirus, and of course, Windows update status and availability. Lastly, critical service specific event ID. This is one of the most important, because in layman term, you basically if you see Windows event viewer, there is a lot of error ID, but you won't understand what is the error. What VTD can do is you translate it into a layman term, so for better understanding. But of course, for VTD, there is a minimum requirement as well, because you require Windows Server 2008 R2 and above, or Windows 7 and above. So for better understanding, let me show you a scenario of previous support we call it at the break-fix norm, and also the difference from VTD. So just imagine, break-fix scenario is like a car. You're driving a car. So you're running at high speed, and your water pipe start leaking. For break-fix scenario, user will not notice it. You will not get any notification on the water pipe is leaking until you see some effect, which is maybe burn engine or the rise in temperature. So by the time damage has been done, and you're required to send to a workshop. So what is the cost here? You are required to change a water pipe and the radiator, repair the burn engine. The costing is much more higher. And what about the time? Time consuming at least 1 week. This is the previous scenario, break-fix scenario. Same goes when you encounter a net security breach. So let me show you a VTD scenario. So your car is running at the same high speed and your water pipe start leaking. But the difference here is you receive a notification from your VTD telling you that your water pipe is leaking and you need to change. So changing the water pipe, the cost will be much more lower compared to repairing the whole engine, and the time will be less consumption because you only require maybe a 30 minutes job. So in here you can clearly see what is the difference between break-fix scenario and VTD scenario. Same goes to your security breach. Because previously, when there is an attack, you see the attacks happen, you face the effect, and you do the repair. But what VTD were able to do is, he tried to prevent it from further damaging. So for better understanding, let me show you a quick short video which has been done by SIKK.
With new agile ways of working come a different set of threats and vulnerabilities to be managed. Every day we're being exposed to cyber attacks such as ransomware, malware, password attack, criminal hacking and so on. Without a good IT support, you may jeopardize your organization's reputation, operations and most importantly have an impact on your revenue. With VTD, you can reduce downtime and enjoy our IT management and monitoring tools such as software deployment and patch management, antivirus and anti-malware deployment, network visualization on endpoint status, and real-time visibility of patch status of all devices. We also provide support services such as endpoint support and maintenance, application and Outlook troubleshoot, bug fixes and service issues, software installation and computer optimization, and VPN access support. In short, you just have to sit back and leave everything to VTD. Because VTD is your IT doctor, the fastest and easiest IT support solution. System RKK. We say it, we do it.
All right, hopefully you guys understand what is it, a brief on VITD. So basically for SIKK VITD, there is few categories, which we call it the plus version and also the basic version. So for the plus version is the more advanced features we provide. As you can see here, these are the details that actually we provide. So we also have the essential and corporate. What is the difference? Essential basically will be focusing on the PC part. For the corporate, we will be focusing on the server part. So if you like to have more details on what is the thing that it covers under VITD, feel free to contact us. We will send you and explain you in details later. So this is the code that I like to share because you cannot manage what you cannot see. You cannot monitor what you cannot manage. So as we all know that monitoring is the basic for all security. So you may have the best product today, but in 6 months to 1 year time, you may not have the best anymore. Everybody know that, but can we actually monitor and manage it every single day, every single time by using human? No. So basically VIT is focusing on to reduce the human error, increase the efficiency, increase the security. So now let me pass to my colleague to share about SharePoint securing your file in cloud. Thank you. Alia, you may take over.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Alia. I am MSP SharePoint engineer from System RKK. So today I would like to share a bit about securing your files in SharePoint. So SharePoint Online is actually already a part of the Microsoft 365 suite of products and services. So most licenses, they already come with SharePoint Online already included in the repository. So what's left is to start storing and sharing your files in SharePoint and you're good to go. So actually, what is SharePoint Online? So SharePoint Online is actually a cloud-based document and content management system. So it allows your users to collaborate together and encouraging sharing of ideas and also information. So to compare, Microsoft Teams, as you know, is used for communication. OneDrive is for personal storage for your documents, and SharePoint is a bit of both. So it can function both as a corporate intranet and also document management system. So it allows you to store and share documents and information more effectively than a traditional file system. So one of the useful features in SharePoint that supports document collaboration is called co-editing. So here is where multiple people can work together on a Word document, Excel spreadsheet, or PowerPoint presentation. So talking about security in SharePoint point of view, so SharePoint admin, they can manage how files are shared externally. So you can either choose to share files with new and existing guests, or only your existing guests, or only people in your organization. So just to note, SharePoint share the same external sharing policy as OneDrive, so you don't have to configure the settings twice. So another thing to control are file permissions. So for example, you have different sites set up for each department, and your staff can access only their own department's site. But you can also allow users from other departments to access your department's homepage, but not the documents in that site. So this is also known as site sharing. So additionally, you can also set up access requests. So when users want to request for access to a site that they don't have permission to, instead of manually asking the owner for permission, and even then you might not know who the site owner is, so they can simply type in their reason for request and it will send a request email to the site owner. So securing the data in SharePoint requires setting up sensitivity labels or retention policies. So this is done in the Security and Compliance Center, which you can set up the data compliance as per your company policy. So over the news on SharePoint, so as announced by Microsoft, they have recently deprecated SharePoint 2010 workflows. So meaning any existing workflows that you have on the SharePoint 2010 platform, they will no longer run. So this is now the time to migrate, as we also provide services to carry out the workflow migration. So there are a few platforms out there to migrate your workflows to, but we recommend either to Power Automate or to Nintex Workflows. So I will explain what they are in the next slide. So Power Automate, or some of you may know it as Microsoft Flow, is also a Microsoft product, which is included in most of your M365 subscriptions. So it can model business processes and also automate workflows across all your apps and services, and it's not just limited to Microsoft applications. So for example, you can set it up to post announcements on Microsoft Teams, or you can store your signed documents from DocuSign and into SharePoint. So it currently has more than 275 connectors, which allows it to communicate with those apps and services. So since it is a part of the Microsoft infrastructure, so of course it has a strong governance and security. So Power Automate is actually a low-code solution for automation, but it can also be further customized for more advanced developers. So another option to migrate the SharePoint 2010 workflow that has retired to is to the Nintex Ecosystem. So as a short introduction, Nintex is an industry leader so that automates processes, and they come with a complete package. So it has a low-code workflow, it can process intelligence, and they also provide document generation and document signature. So it also has a wonderful selection of integration with popular systems such as Salesforce, SQL Server, and then Nintex, they also come with modern form creation, so which is a responsive design that works on your web, on your mobile, on your tablet, so you don't have to design forms for those multiple platforms. Okay, over here, I would like to share one of the latest features on SharePoint, which is called SharePoint Space. So play a video.
More than ever, dynamic, impactful content is critical to the modern workplace. Introducing SharePoint Spaces, letting anyone create mixed reality experiences where data, documents, and files can be seen in immersive environments from any device. Create custom spaces where you can visualize and manipulate data in real time. Discover and interact with objects in 3 dimensions. Explore company knowledge, making onboarding more engaging, and experience vibrant, expansive 3D environments right at your desk. SharePoint Spaces lets anyone experience content in new and exciting ways, empowering us all to achieve even more.
Okay, so that's pretty cool, right? So SharePoint Spaces is actually a web-based immersive platform, so which lets you create and share mixed reality experiences that are both secure and extensible. So you can add a new dimension to your intranet by using 2D and even 3D web parts to create your mixed reality vision. So building a space is a lot like building a modern site. That is, you create the space and you choose the options such as the structure, the background, and the theme. So some sample scenarios are for doing facility tours for warehouse and industrial companies, or sharing new product launches for architectural and engineering companies. So this is just one example to show that SharePoint is ever evolving. So with that, I hope you would consider choosing SharePoint as your organization's secure cloud-based file storage. So thank you so much everyone for your time today.